Why do you lose consciousness in a rapid depressurization of a plane in seconds, if you can hold your breath for longer? I've often heard that in a rapid depressurization of an aircraft cabin, you will lose consciousness within a couple of seconds due to the lack of oxygen, and that's why you need to put your oxygen mask on first and immediately before helping others. But if I can hold my breath for a minute, would I still pass out within seconds? Because when the air pressure drops, the partial pressure of oxygen in the air drops lower than the partial pressure of oxygen in your blood, and as your lungs aren't strong enough to hold pressure in, the pressure in your lungs drops to be about the same as the outside. So the oxygen diffuses out of your blood and into the air. At the same time, the carbon dioxide does, too, which means that the acidity sensors that tell you that you need to breathe don't trigger, so you don't realize that you need to breathe. By breathing air enriched in oxygen, the partial pressure increases, allowing oxygen to diffuse into your blood as it should. This is the correct answer you're looking for, Op. Low atmospheric pressure hypoxia is fundamentally different from garden-variety respiratory depression because the partial pressure of oxygen is so incredibly low at those altitudes. Oxygen reverses flow from the body into the air because normal flow of oxygen from the alveolar to blood and then tissues requires a narrow range of oxygen partial pressures, and if it's disrupted, oxygen can flow the wrong way, triggering hypoxia response much faster than if oxygen is simply cut off but partial pressures remain standard as they are at our everyday living sea level. Keep in mind that pressure and volume are inversely related. So if he holds his breath during depressurization, his lungs would expand due to the pressure decreasing. He may eventually be unable to hold his breath due to the volume of air in his lungs expanding. This is why when you get trained for scuba diving, they tell you to always breathe out when ascending, the pressure is going down. If you held your breath immediately after the depressurization finished, as others here have answered, no, it wouldn't help. If you managed to take a deep breath and hold it before the plane depressurized, or as it started to, you risk air embolism and/or lung overexpansion injury. Something generally only scuba divers need to worry about, but the same could happen if you tried to hold in a breath as a plane depressurized. You really don't want any significant differential between the inside of your lungs and the outside air pressure. I can tell you that when doing training for emergency underwater submarine evacuation, they tell you to scream all the way up so your lungs don't collapse. Should be easy, since they pierce your eardrums right before you exit. Keeps them from bursting, which is a harder injury to heal from than a simple hole. Chances of survival are still pretty slim, but it's a better option than being on a submarine with an uncontained fire or flood.